Indie Authors Discussion is brought to you by Authors United Publishing. Are you ready to publish a book? Well, we can help. My husband Tim and I can help you get published and retain all copyrights and royalties. There are no hidden fees for what we offer. We publish, edit, proof, ghostwrite, and publish on paperback, hardback, Kindle, and Audible. We stay with the process until the final step is completed. We also narrate and would not be opposed to narrating your work. Our prices begin at $150, and for up to the maximum of $600, you get everything. So, if you're ready, message us anytime, and we can discuss what we can do for you. Here is Indie Authors Discussion with Tim, Lori, and Elijah Simpson.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to our podcast. And I'm still saying tuning in. I don't think we're supposed to do that anymore.
Don't say tuning.
Okay, so we are here, and we have Eli back with us. He's back from his trip to Washington, D.C. So, Eli, how was your trip?
Well, I did get to go to the White House. I was also able to see the Washington Monument, but then I flew off the building after I went up the elevator and I flew out the window.
So, you fell from the Washington Monument?
Yes.
How come you didn't tell us about this when you fell?
Oh.
And how are you still sitting here?
I'm definitely not lying.
Okay.
But I did go to the Washington Monument.
Okay, so.
And I did go to the Lincoln Memorial, and I fell on the steps because I was too tired after I went up the elevator and then going down the elevator and walking so much to the Lincoln Memorial.
So that wore you out.
Yes.
So you went to Washington just to sightsee while we're sitting here doing the whole show without you.
No. I didn't just sightsee. I was the president's advisor.
Really? So.
Yes.
So how is he in person, the president?
He told me not to share anything.
I can understand that.
That sounds like him.
Yeah. So anyway, we got a cool story for you. Elijah and Lori and myself are characters in this upcoming story. It's right before Halloween, so this will be something fun to listen to. We had a lot of fun doing it, and if you stay with us, we've got a lot of really cool interviews coming up throughout the rest of the month, and
mostly through the year. End the year mostly.
Yeah, that's right, through the end of the year. So, Lori, tell us who we got coming up next week.
Next week we will be talking with a lady. Her name is Nikki Dudley, and the fascinating part is she is from the UK. So that is going to be really neat to talk with her and find out about her books and get to know her better.
Well, that sounds interesting. And Eli's a student of geography, so he'll be interested in that. And the last question will always be given by Eli, so it'll be interesting to see what a 9-year-old comes up with for the final question. It should be fun.
So for every interview that we do, Eli will ask the last question?
The last one. He'll get the last word in.
That's very cool.
I did listen to last time's episode, and it was very real with that lady.
Pat Buggan. Yeah, she was a hoot to interview.
Yeah, it was very, very, very weird because she thought that Amazon.com, if you guys know, Amazon, the app is Amazon.com where you can buy stuff at. Yeah, that you guys were talking about,
the actual Amazon.
Yeah, the Amazon force in Brazil.
I don't think she gets out much.
Yeah.
I don't think so either.
I think she just stays in her house all day. Or maybe just trying to get her pet cockroaches
out of her dog's mouth.
Yeah.
Well, So this story we got coming up right after this is about a hollow in Colorado. There's a beast there, and
Don't tell Olden.
oh,
I
okay.
still want to sing.
Oh, that's
You
right.
can't say.
I would too.
That was the other episode.
Well, he's still trying to sing.
Oh, yeah, he is.
He's
And
always-
I still have Tommy with me.
And there's Tommy. Okay.
Hi, old man.
And we have Tommy back.
Hi, old man.
Tommy, come back to make an appearance.
You never know
I
what's
don't
going to
like the
happen.
president. When I saw him, he could have kicked me out of the White House.
So you never know what you're going to find on our podcast. So I don't recommend you miss any of them. So stay tuned after this, and we'll have a few closing words. And
I was in the Washington Monument, and I fell almost in the creek of the elevator.
Okay, Tom.
okay, Tommy. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank
So
you.
enjoy the show. Welcome everyone to what I like to call the Raven's Tales. This is the first of a periodic series of stories that my friend the Raven tells me. The tale you are about to hear is called The Hollow, a dark, isolated place off the beaten path at the end of a dead-end small-town road in Colorado. A place of unspeakable occurrences brought on by an unnameable beast. So sit back and relax if you dare, and listen to The Hollow. Mystery, intrigue, murder, on the edge of your seat page turner. These are just a few words to describe the latest book, Saving Faith by Lorianne Simpson. The small town of Mahogany Bay, South Carolina, is plagued by a killer targeting women. And now he has his eyes set on Faith Dean. Can the handsome detective Dakota McLean save Faith before it's too late? Or will Faith become the killer's next victim? Saving Faith is available on paperback, hardback, Kindle, and Audible.
Oh, honey, this is even more beautiful than the pictures. I love the wallpaper. So retro.
I know, right? Look at the countertops. They have a classic look to them. But they do need a good cleaning. Say, where's Tammy?
Look at this sink. We need to change these faucets, though. I'm sorry, honey. What'd you say?
Where'd Tammy run off to?
Oh, she took off upstairs somewhere to explore, I guess. Look over here. Hey, look what I found. Wow, that's a big box. Here, set it on the table.
Hey, wait a minute. That might be the former owners or something. They may want it back.
Oh, Dad, it won't hurt to peek inside. Hey, what's this?
Looks like a letter. Here, let me see it. It's dated October 28, 1954. Should I read it?
Of course. It could be personal, John. I wouldn't feel right about it.
But it's dated back to the 50s. It's a part of history now. As Tammy said, just a peek. So, here we go. Wow, this paper's stiff. To whom it may concern. Well, that's an ominous start. See, it's for anyone.
Okay, go on then.
See, you're just as interested as we are. Okay, let's see. Where was that? Oh, okay. If you have found this letter, then I am no longer the same person I once was. And I'm writing this in mortal
Fear that he has found me. And I hope that what comes next is swift. My family and I moved to this little hollow in hopes of having a place to retreat to and focus on our craft. We purchased the house sight unseen and paid a crew to move us in before we arrived. Our first stop was the little country store leading into the hollow. It was a quaint little store with a rustic appeal to it. The counter was furnished with fresh breads and cheeses, cookies, and homemade butter. The owner, an older man with a friendly smile and jovial, booming voice, greeted us warmly.
My name's Jack Paulson. Welcome, folks. Come on in. It isn't much, but we have all your needs right here. Say, this is a nice store, isn't it, dear?
What? Oh, yes, it sure is. Jake, put that ball back. You have enough baseballs.
How dare you? No one can have too many baseballs. Oh, look, cars.
You folks the ones moving into the old Carpenter place? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm Manfred Harlow. This is my wife Elizabeth, or just Beth, and our son Jake. Wait a minute. Where have I heard that name before? Are you famous or something?
My daddy and mom are both writers.
That's it. Now I remember. You're Dr. Harlow, the psychiatrist. And of course, your wife is Beth Harlow, the poet. My wife loves your poetry. We listen to your radio show every Thursday night.
Well, thank you, Mr. Paulson.
Paulson, please call me Jack.
Thank you, Jack.
If you folks don't mind me asking, what brings you to our small town? Not much happens here. I figured you folks would be out in Hollywood or someplace like that, but not a place like here. Well, a place like here is just what we're looking for, Jack. We just wanted a nice, quiet, place to rest and finish our new book, and we're looking for an out-of-the-way spot, like vacation to, so we could work out without disturbances of the city, and from the looks of things, we made the right decision. I see. Well, let me be the first to welcome you to the Hollow. That's what folks call it here. One way in, one way out, surrounded by mountains. Cold in the winter, hot as blazes in the summer. Reckon you've seen your new home already, all the way to the end of the road. The last house here, built before my time. It started out as a small 2-bedroom, and over the years, different folks moved in and out. And each new family built onto it. Old Mrs. Lyons and her daughter Josie are the closest neighbors you have. Good folks. Mrs. Lyon has been a widow since 2 summers back. Her daughter is a little strange but friendly enough. She might be someone to keep in mind when the folks need a night out. Well, thanks for the information, Jack. And we will call on Mrs. Lyons once we settle in. To make her acquaintance and all. We haven't actually seen the house yet. We had a realtor friend of ours settle everything before we got here, so this will be our first time laying eyes on it. Did you find everything you were looking for, babe?
Oh, yes, just a loaf of bread for now. The only thing we forgot to bring with us. Oh, and this car here.
Oh, yeah. Can't forget the car. That comes to 85 cents. Here. Here you go. Keep the change. Thank you kindly, and you folks have a good afternoon.
When we left the little store, I felt good about this new home of ours. If Mr. Paulson was the example of the people in the hollow, I felt sure we would love it here. Then I saw her, or actually, I didn't see her, but I almost ran into her. She was bent at the shoulders, stooped low. She unnerved me. I don't usually judge a person by their appearance, but her hollow eyes and sunken cheeks and long hooked nose, well, it sort of scared me. And for someone that doesn't scare easily, that speaks volumes. More than that, her words scared me. Oh, excuse me, ma'am. I'm sorry. I need to pay more attention.
It's quite all right, young lady. It's my fault. You see, my back is eating alive with the arthritis. That's why I'm bent so. It's hard to get a look at you. Can you come closer? Come on, honey. It's all right, Dolly. I won't bite. Don't have any teeth too anyway. Say, I don't know you, do I?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid you don't. We just moved into the neighborhood.
Is that your boy over there? He's a fine looking young man. He is going to grow to be big and strong like his papa. Well, thank you. He's looking forward to exploring this new world. Oh, no. It's not a place for a child, I'm sorry to say. Matilda, leave those folks alone. They're tired. They just got into town. I'm sorry, folks.
No, it's quite all right, Jack. What did you mean by that, ma'am, when you said no place for children?
There are many things in these woods that no person, especially a child, should witness. I grew up here, and there are stories that. Did your daughter know you're out and about by yourself? She's in the car, Bill. Now get to my room, 'tis medicine. I'm sorry, folks. She had a stroke a few years back, and she has trouble remembering things like names, for instance. You don't take medicine for rheumatism, Matilda. You're here for the coffee that you called for earlier. It's quite all right, Jack. Thank you. Be careful, Dolly, and remember to hold your loved ones close if you can.
It was nice meeting you, ma'am.
Come on, babe, let's go.
We should have talked to her a little bit more.
There was something wrong with her. The arthritis that she has, it must be painful. It's a wonder she's even able to get out of bed or out of the house.
What did you mean about the woods, Mom? Do you know about the Thanksgiving of them?
I'm not sure that's what she said, Jake.
I don't know what she was talking about, honey, but I don't think anything of it. People in these small towns, they have their own set of superstitions.
What are superstitions? Then?
Manny?
Oh, well, I don't guess we have any superstitions. Our only fear is the IRS, I suppose.
Is the IRS bad?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's enough. We pay our taxes, so they are not bad. And no, we don't have any superstitions. Now, let's go home and see if we can fix some sandwiches before bed. The sun is setting quickly.
Not to love winter.
When we pulled into the driveway, I was actually taken aback at how large the house actually was. The photos didn't do it justice. The landscape was even better. There were trees on all sides. Even in the winter, they were lush and green. And there were flowers planted beside the gravel leading up to the driveway to the entrance. I was so excited and inspired to rush in and begin my book, but all of us were so very tired. But as we moved closer to the house, I suddenly was overcome with an uneasiness, a feeling of dread even, it seemed. And when I looked into the forest, I swore I could see a set of fiery red eyes looking back at me. Still, common sense kicked in, realizing the sun was throwing a yellow and red glow as it fell behind the trees. I ignored the feelings and what I thought I saw and tried to resume my excitement. I forgot how dark it gets at night between these hills.
How do you know how it gets at night in the hills? What? You spent most of your life in the city. What was that?
It sounded like a wolf howling. I hope it's a wolf like ones in the movies.
Don't be silly, Jake. There are no wolves in Colorado, are there?
No, not anymore. At least I don't think so.
Maybe that's what that woman was warning us about. Maybe it's Lon Chaney Jr.
Jake, let's get inside and get warm.
I heard it again.
Jake, come on.
Stop it, Jake. You're scaring your mother.
I'm not scared. I'm just tired. Now, come on. I know I should have listened to my feelings. There was something wrong with the hollow. It felt cursed, and the noises outside only served to spur the notions on. I had to hide those feelings from Jake and Manny. I didn't want to scare Jake, and I didn't want Manny to see me as some poor, helpless, scared wife. The new carpet looks smashing. They did a splendid job laying it. I want to try it without shoes.
Go ahead, dear. It's all yours. Jake, can you go upstairs and make sure your room is set up the way we requested it?
The colors are even better in person. You know it was a good idea to have that company come and do repairs and set everything up before we moved in. I love the blue and the couch. It all matches so wonderfully.
Well, that's what Tom does. He makes a good living doing it too, trust me. I'm sure after this job he can retire for the winter just on what I paid him.
These 3 months are going to fly by. I wish we could just live here.
I know, baby. But our business is in the city. Was that it again?
I believe so, and it sounded closer this time.
I'm sure it's just a dog. Probably lost or something.
If that was a dog, it sounds enormous.
I'm sure everything's fine. I mean, people live here, don't they? If it was something dangerous, would they stay? I mean, really?
You're right. See, that's why I married you, because of that logical brain of yours. Okay, I'm shaking a little now.
Come here.
You better hold me tighter.
You have nothing to worry about, darling. I won't let anything get you. Now, come on, let's go to bed.
Okay, but I want to check on Jake first, to make sure he's all right.
No, of course, honey. But I'm sure out of the three of us, he'll be the better off if a wolf does attack us. After all, he's the one that watches all those horror movies before bed. Let's go.
My husband was a tall, lean, handsome man. I felt safe in his strong arms. He had chiseled features, black wavy hair, gorgeous eyes, and a playful grin. But when we went to bed that night, the feelings inside me increased, as though something was going to happen, but I didn't know what exactly. All I knew was that I couldn't shake it. When all the lights were out, the house seemed like a dungeon, and the placement of the windows let little light in. There was a draft I hadn't felt before, but I tried to put all of it out of my mind, and finally I was able to go to sleep. That horrible sound woke me from a dreamless sleep. It sounded as if it was in bed with us, and when I opened my eyes, I saw nothing but the dark. Chills ran over my arms and legs. I placed a hand on Manny's side of the bed. Manny, Manny, did you hear that? Manny! My heart sank when I didn't feel my husband's warm body lying next to me. I quickly leaped to my feet, throwing the covers back to find an empty bed. My next thoughts were of our son. When I stood, I noticed something dark on the floor. It was wet, but I ignored it for the time being. I needed to see about Jake. I rushed to his room in a panic and flipped on his lights.
Mom, what are you doing? It's so late. I'm trying to sleep here. I was having a cool dream about wolves.
I can't find your father. He's not in bed. I checked the bathroom and he's not in there either. Did you hear him walk past your room at all?
No, I was asleep. He probably forgot something in the car.
Yeah, you might be right. I'll check. You're just like your father. So logical. Try and go back to sleep, okay? I didn't tell him about the noise that woke me, or the liquid on the floor. The liquid, I feared, was I can't even write the words. My thoughts were all over, but my little boy, could see it in my eyes that something was not right.
Do you want me to go with you?
My brave little boy. No, no. Go ahead and go back to sleep. I'll check outside to see if he went out. I prayed the whole way down the stairs and to the front door, hoping against hope that he would be in the car. I mean, where else could he be? He wasn't a sleepwalker or a late night eater. It was unusual for him not to be beside me in a warm bed on a cold night. He did like his practical jokes, so maybe this was that he was playing a prank. I desperately hoped that's all it was. Manny, are you out here? Manny, you better not be playing some sort of, hey, what's this? Oh, Lord. Oh, no, no, no. It wasn't until I had stepped into a dark pool of blood that I knew something had happened to my husband. It looked like the one upstairs. I couldn't stop the tears, or my heart as it raced, beating hard behind my ribs like a drum. I could hear the blood pumping in my veins. I had to admit now that I had never been so scared in my life.
Are you tired of plain, boring YouTube videos? Are you suffering from a content mundane viewing experience? Are you ready to experience something spontaneous and fun? Something exciting and new and not old and worn out? After all, how many cat videos can one watch anyway? Well, I'm here to help. My name is Elijah James Simpson, and I have my very own YouTube channel. The link is youtube.com/ Elijah Simpson is funny. 1. I think cat videos are fun also, but really, if you've seen one jump 30 feet into the air, you've seen all of them do it. So, I'm prepared to offer my own quick and fun videos that'll make your day so much better. And I promise, I won't try to sell you anything. Well, unless you want cat videos. I can sell you cat videos, so look up my channel and leave some nice comments and subscribe. I promise, you won't be disappointed.
No cats were harmed in the making of this podcast.
When the police finally arrived, Jake was sitting beside me on the couch, both of us shivering. I kept looking down at my feet, and that's when I noticed I still had red residue on them. I had scrubbed trying to get the red off, but there was still some stained black paint between my toes. It made me sick to think about it. When the first knock came to the door, I didn't hear it. My mind was everywhere and nowhere. On the third knock, I stood and walked to the door.
Oh, Mrs. Harlow.
Yes, that's right. She's me. I'm she. Oh, won't you please come in?
Yeah. I'm Police Chief Montgomery Fields. This is the Detective Debbie Burke.
Are you a detective? That's right. We received your call and were dispatched here. May we ask you some questions? Yes, of course. Please come in. Is that some of the same liquid that's in the front of your porch out there? Yes, I stepped in it when I went searching for Manny, my husband.
Oh, I understand. I have some questions. Someone looking into it. They were taking samples to determine if it was in fact blood or not. I need to ask you a few personal questions if that's all right.
Yes, yes, of course.
Okay. When was the last time you saw your husband?
It was around 9 when we went to bed. We were very tired from the long drive. We drove for hours to get here.
I see. I see. When you went to bed, both of you went at the same time.
Yes, we looked in on our son and both of us lay down at the same time.
Oh, okay. I see. I see. So now comes the personal stuff, ma'am. Before you went to bed, did you and your husband have any disagreements that were perhaps heated? What I mean to say is, people get stressed on long drives, and you said you had a long drive, and maybe the two of you argued, about things, and fatigue can cause even the worst, with a I'm sorry, the most insignificant of discussions to turn into full blown arguments. You know what I mean? I've seen husbands and wives come to blows over a little more on deciding where to eat.
No, of course not. We were both excited about coming to our new home. We rarely argued.
So you are new to the area. I mean, driving so far and such, and being excited and all.
Yes, we arrived today.
I see. I see. Do you mind if I ask your boy some questions there?
No, not at all.
Well, thank you. Well, what's your name, son?
Jake,
How old are you, Jake?
10.
You like sports, Jake?
I like baseball.
Who's your favorite team, Jake?
Is this necessary, Chief Field? Because my husband is missing and possibly injured.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Very well, very well. Jake, did you hear anything last night, like your mom and your pop arguing or anything like that?
No, actually, I never hear them argue. Well, there's this one time when I was 4. I heard my dad say he wanted pizza for dinner, and my mom said,
Well, that's not exactly what I'm talking about, Jake.
Now, is that enough to get you to go out and find my husband?
maybe the beast took him.
Well, what's that now?
The monster I saw outside my window near the trees. I saw it when my mom went outside to look for my dad. I bet it took my dad.
Tell me, Jake. What did the monster look like?
Chief, we are wasting time here.
Mrs. Harlow, I have been a police officer for nearly 40 years now, and I've seen almost everything that one could see in the line of duty. And one thing that I have seen the most is when a child sees a monster, it's usually a bad thing doing bad things. It's usually a bad man. So if you don't mind me continuing, I would appreciate it. Now, Jake, please tell me what this monster looked like.
Well, it was big and furry, had huge teeth and red eyes. looked like a dog but bigger. And oh, and it walked on two legs.
Well, does that help you, Chief?
Detective Burke, have the officers be on the lookout for a tall, bearded man. Last seen on the, say, Jake, where's your bedroom at?
Upstairs on the left.
Thank you. Tell them the north side of the property. And thank you, Jake and Miss Harlow, Mrs. Harlow. Please try and rest. I will search all night, or we will search all night if we have to.
I don't see how I can rest knowing my husband is out there somewhere. Ma'am, I'm sure he's fine. I can't think of any time that anything like this has happened before. But I know it's the not knowing. But I believe we will find something tonight. I listened to her words, and they did provide some comfort. But still, I couldn't sleep at all that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I thought about what Jake had said. And then I remembered the eyes in the forest. I also remembered all of the uneasy feelings I had. I don't believe in monsters, but something was not right. My husband would not have just wandered off in the night. But the next day, the police detective came by to confirm my worst fears that the pool of liquid was indeed blood. She assured me that they had every available officer looking for him. I was afraid not only for me, but also for Jake. So I called my parents to come and take him back with them. They caught the first plane and came in that afternoon.
But Mom, why do I have to go?
Well, honey, you haven't seen Grandma and Grandpa in a few weeks. It will be good for you to spend time with them. Now give me a kiss.
Then why don't you come with me?
I can't. Not till I find your father. Oh, I love you so much.
Now listen. The first you hear, you call us. You understand? Do you understand me? As soon as you hear something, you call.
Of course, Dad, I will. Come here, honey, give me a hug. I'm sure he's fine. Just be strong. And if you need us to come back, we will. And don't worry about Jakey. He will be fine. Thank you, Mom and Dad. I love you both so much. And you too, my precious boy. Now, you listen to Grandma and Grandpa and do what they say, okay?
Fine, but you better call every day.
Don't worry, honey, I will. I hated to see him leave. I had to wipe the tears from my eyes as the taxi pulled away. I wanted more than anything to go with them, but I couldn't. I had to know what happened. The questions were killing me. But little did I know that the answer was far worse than my imagination could conceive. I couldn't sleep at all, and the next morning I did my own research of the ground, but predictably found nothing more than what the police found: some spotty blood and a few tracks, but nothing more. Then, when nightfall came, I heard it again, the howling, that eerie howl that was loud enough for the neighbors to hear. I was sure of it, but no one ever responded. I spoke with them earlier in the day, and no one had any answers other than it must have been a doll. I wasn't satisfied, so when the howl ripped through my house, I threw my husband's work shoes on, a large coat, and a scarf, and went searching for it myself. It was so dark and foggy that when I stepped outside, chills ran down the length of my arms and legs. I called out to my husband several times. The next thing I knew, I was standing inside the forest behind the trees, the same trees where I had seen the two red orbs glowing at me on the night of our arrival. Then I heard the howl again. This time it felt much closer. I could feel my heart racing. My breathing stopped. I focused my eyes, and then I saw it. It was moving behind the trees. I wasn't sure that it had seen me, but when I saw those orbs, the red, bloodshot orbs beside the long snout, the long teeth hanging from its upper jaw like stalagmites, its body covered in thick, dark fur, its upper lip curled into an evil grin, as if it realized it had found its dinner. The way the ears pointed towards the sky made them look like horns, and worst of all, it stood upright, over 7 feet tall. I knew I could never outrun such a beast. I knew it had caught me, and I could do nothing to stop it. I turned and ran as fast as I could back to the house. I could hear its enormous feet beating the ground a few yards behind me. Once inside, I scrambled to close and fasten the door. I could see it now. It was running full speed on all fours, and my heart nearly stopped at the sight. I slammed the door, knowing that the door would not keep the enormous beast out. I ran up the stairs. As soon as I made it to the bedroom, I heard the door splinter into pieces. And now I'm sitting here in the closet with a pen and paper, listening to the beast walk around my home. I can hear it moving up the stairs. There's nothing I can do but sit here in the dark, listening to its claws scrape at the wall.
It's right outside now. I can hear it breathing. Huh. That's where it ends. There's no more.
Well, that sounds creepy.
You know, at the beginning, it did say they were writers. So maybe this is a copy of the story they were working on or something.
Well, it's still creepy. Hold on. Someone's at the door. Dad, do you think there's anything to that story?
Oh, honey. It's just a story.
Honey, can you come in here? There's a woman at the door that says she lives here.
That's impossible. No one's lived here in 30 years or more. I had it checked.
Johnny, wait a minute before you go in there.
What is it?
Something's wrong.
What do you mean?
It's her eyes, Johnny. They're all red and glowing.
So that was The Hollow, and we need to thank Pat for having a cameo, a guest appearance. Pat Duggins.
Yeah.
She played the old lady outside the store. So
Yes, she did.
So we need to thank her for that. That was really nice of her.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pat.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So
Thanks,
did everybody did you like the show?
Yes, it was very scary, and I want to know more. What happened to the family where the lady come back? I mean, that's pretty spooky, isn't it?
But like, what happens with now what I want like another I want like another sort of like a part two.
Oh, cool.
Hollow Part 2.
Yeah, because I want to see what happens with the family. I want to see what happens with Halloween.
I want to see one too.
Oh,
I-
okay, Pat.
I want to see what happens with the Harlows after the big giant beast comes up the stairs and yeah.
I want to see one where Matilda has more to do.
Okay, Pat.
Okay. Oh, there's a cockroach on the floor.
Don't
No,
kill
there's
it.
not. No, there's not.
No, don't kill that cockroach.
No, disclaimer: there's no cockroaches in our house.
No cockroaches were harmed in the making of this podcast.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not. there was zero cockroaches. Anyway,
well, thanks, Pat,
Um,
for being here with us.
You're welcome. Long trip from Louisiana to Tennessee to Tennessee.
to Virginia.
To Virginia.
Where are we at now?
We're in Virginia.
This is Virginia.
Yep.
I'm from Louisiana.
Yep. We heard
You have television?
Yes, we do.
Can I watch it?
No,
Yeah.
you can't.
That's not very nice and hospitable of you.
No, it isn't.
And we have a television near the studio.
I have a long drive to get back home.
Okay then.
I ride a bicycle with 3 wheels.
Hey, Tim.
What?
I heard that there was a blooper reel.
Oh, I'm thinking about working on that.
You are.
I want to hear it too. My bicycle has a bad tire.
Oh dear.
The third wheel like flops around when I ride it.
Okay then.
Not very comfortable.
Okay, well,
Well-
we want to thank everybody for listening to this week's podcast. We will hope you tell your friends about us and tell them to tune in.
No,
we're-
remember we don't say tune in anymore.
And actually, it's on Amazon.
Right?
We're on iTunes. We're on several I think there's one called something Podcasters or something.
Ooh.
And we're also on YouTube. You can listen to us on there.
Wait.
I'm actually in control of the YouTube channel, so I'll
Eli's
be
in
posting
charge
everything.
of the YouTube channel all by himself.
So I'll see if there's like I don't know. You guys just talk.
Okay. Well, thanks for listening, and we hope to hear from you, or you hear from us next Sunday when we have our indie author, the independent author, and she's going to talk about her newest book or books. And I believe she's British, but she lives in Ireland. So
That is correct.
this should be a lot of fun.
It should be.
All right. Well, thanks everyone.
By the way, I have the second episode of the show on my MP3 player.
And this show will air Sunday nights at 8 o'clock every Sunday.
Yep.
So stay tuned.
No, remember?
Keep the pages turning.